Coming up on Let's Get to the Points.
First tonight, we're going to talk about lounges.
The absolute worst lounge. I mean, this lounge is so bad, Serena, it's like scabies level.
Oh,
Has to be.
that's the worst.
All they had were dirty glasses and beef ramen noodles. Skip it. Skip it at all costs. I advise you to buy the overpriced airport food.
And later,
I just got back from Impression Moxché by Secrets. Now, this property is all-inclusive. It's luxurious. So I was celebrating my birthday during this trip and I was upgraded to a master suite ocean view. So here are some tips if you're visiting. And these are going to be useful tips so you don't have to do any research ahead of time before you go.
now let's get to the points. From Passion for Points, it's Serena. From Travel Sergeant, it's Miguel. From Nicole's Travel Tips, it's Nicole. And from Seat to a Suite, it's Mitch Shannon.
Hi there, and thank you for joining us on Let's Get to the Points audio and video podcast, where we bring you the very best in tips and tricks in the world of miles, points, and travel. I'm Mitch Shannon, joined by my co-hosts who are the best experts in everything when it comes to points, miles, and travel. First up, from Passion for Points, it's Serena.
Hi, everyone.
From the Travel Sergeant, it's Miguel.
Hey, what's up?
And from Nicole's Travel Tips, it's Nicole.
Hi.
Please make sure you subscribe now to our YouTube channel, and wherever you watch or listen, hit that like and subscribe button right now, the video and audio versions. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Now let's do it. Let's get to the points. Okay, we are back from our break. It's nice having everyone back. Serena, we all loved your special edition episode and your family going to Bora Bora. You had a great trip.
We did. Thanks, Mitch, for putting it together for me.
No problem. We're all here. Thanks for coming down. We edited it together. We did it. We did a great job. You know what? I'm really proud of you. You did a really good job. It looked great, and it looked like you guys had a really good time.
We really did. It was the best family vacation ever.
Yeah.
I want to go back to St. Regis Bora Bora, definitely.
Yeah.
Need more Marriott points.
I do. I have 0 now. I need to work on accumulating that stash.
All right, but first tonight, as we start back from our Thanksgiving break, we're going to talk about lounges. And we get quite a few emails, DMs, and questions about how we get into these lounges, what lounges are the best, what are the worst, and what tips and tricks that we have for them. So we're going to start with Miguel. And you and Nicole, a couple weeks ago, you were at the Travel More conference. First off, how did that go? Second, you got to check out a new Capital One lounge, right?
Yeah, so it went great. Like the thing I love the most about going to these conferences or these meetups is just networking and meeting people in real life, putting a face to, the people that you see online, or just meeting new people because, a lot of us have the same interest in this travel game. And, our spouses or player twos kind of get tired of hearing about all the stuff. So it's nice to meet new people that kind of share this passion and, can totally talk about all the technical stuff. So it was great meeting new people.
And real quick, this is the first time you got to meet Nicole too, right?
Yeah. So it was the first time.
First impression, what do you think?
I mean, Miguel is what you see here. He is what you get. He's lovable. He's squishy. Take that part out.
Oh, God, don't call me squishy when you meet me, please.
That's my new nickname,
I don't wanna be
Squishy.
I don't want to be squishy or healthy.
My, oh my, how the conversation changes when the record button gets hit. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Miguel is lovable. He's exactly like you see him here. When I met him, it's like I had known him forever. Yeah, I had a blast at Travel More. This is my first travel conference, and Ashley did an amazing job of bringing people from different backgrounds, different races, different level of expertise in the points and travel world. And I felt like everyone felt comfortable. There weren't that many people where you couldn't get to see or meet people who you really were fangirling over. That was me for sure. We learned a lot, and the best part, like Miguel says, was networking with the people you talk to online all the time.
Sounds like you both had a great time at the Travel More conference, and hopefully maybe we can all go next year. That would be cool.
Yes. I will go if anyone invites all 4 of us together.
It's a package deal, right?
Package deal.
Yeah, we'll be the panel.
But with all that, you got to go to a new lounge, right, Miguel? How was it? The Capital One lounge?
Yeah, so this was pretty much the first time I got to enjoy the Capital One Lounge. I think a week prior to that, I went with my wife and my daughter on our way to Disneyland, but we literally had like 10 minutes in there. So my wife started to get comfortable, and I was like, what are you doing? We have to get the to-go food because we got it board soon. So But on the way back from the conference, Angel from Pennywise Traveler, she actually guested me in because I don't have the Capital One Venture X card. My wife does. So she was kind enough to guest me in there. And, I had like a couple hours. I was like, okay, I can actually enjoy the lounge and get plenty of food. And let me tell you, the food is great. Like, I think it's probably some of the best food, at least for the lounges that you can get in with a credit card. For example, there's better lounges that you can get into if you're traveling business class or first class internationally, like the United Polaris Lounge or like the American Airlines Flagship Lounge or the Chelsea Lounge at JFK. As far as for a lounge that you can get in with by holding a credit card, I think it's one of the best lounges, honestly. And the food was really amazing. I love the concept that they have. They're like individually plated entrees that you put together. Pretty good food.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Capital One Lounge. That was the first lounge we went to as a family, and it's hard to go from that to something else, especially with just a credit card. Amazing lounge at Capital One.
I started this whole traveling on points and miles thing because I wanted to go to a lounge. And initially I started going to the Centurion lounges. And lately I don't really care about going to them anymore. Like I've been either going to an Admirals Club, which is really a step down because they even sell you, some of the beverages or some snacks and stuff. But I just, the Amex Centurion lounges, they've been so packed recently. Sometimes there's like a waiting list to get in that if it's not close to my gate, I don't even bother anymore trying to go to those. So I would just take a regular lounge like an Admirals Club. This Capital One lounge was pretty good. And they've now opened the one in Denver and at Washington Dulles at IAD. So I'm excited to at some point go to those and check those out as well.
So do you think this will make you want to get the Capital One Venture X card now that you've been to this lounge?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I was denied. That's why I don't have it. I tried getting it because, it really is, I think, one of the best cards that you can have. My wife and I started like not adding each other's authorized users on all our cards, but I might have to break that rule that kind of we have and add myself to her since I couldn't get my own a couple years ago.
That's one of the great benefits about Capital One and adding authorized users. So I did add my kids as authorized users. And once we went to Dallas for a soccer game and we were able to bring some of her teammates with us into the lounge. So that's definitely an added benefit. I think the best part of lounge access is being able to share it with people.
So something neat about the Capital One Venture X is you can add those authorized users for free, right? Now, you could use those authorized users' credit card number to get a priority pass membership for anybody else. It doesn't have to be the same person that is the authorized user. So for example, my wife added my daughter as an authorized user, and then we use that credit card number on the Venture X to get my in-laws a priority pass membership instead of my daughter. So that's just something that's not really stated anywhere, but it works. So, but that won't get you access to the actual Capital One lounge, only to the priority pass lounges that come with it.
Yeah, and remember with the Venture X cards, you can add an authorized user for anyone. There's no minimum age, so you can add it for children and use their priority pass for someone else, like for the grandparents, for example. So that's a great way to get priority pass for more people in your family and friend circle.
So, Miguel, you had mentioned that, the American Express lounges, they're kind of crowded and you don't bother with them anymore. So I'm curious, how did the Capital One lounge compare to the American Express lounge? First off, was it kind of full? And then how did it compare to like the food and the offerings and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of full, but I didn't have to wait in line. And at the Amex Centurion lounge just lately, I've been having to wait in line or even add your phone number to like a text waiting list and they'll text you when it's ready. But the food was way better. And they also have to-go food. So I love this section because if you just have like 10 minutes like I did the first time I went to, you can just go in and grab. They have sandwiches, they have salads, they have like desserts, they have cookies. I mean, they have all kinds of to-go goodies. They have a few like snacks where you can fill in a little bag. I mean, it's great. I ate there and then I took some to go as well.
You should see our to-go bag when we were leaving the first time.
You made us proud, right, Nicole?
I did. I got my money's worth, your money's worth, Mitch's money's worth, everybody. Basically fed a soccer team from there.
That's how to do it. Yeah, I was recently at the Centurion Lounge at SFO, and it was very crowded. It was in the morning, and I usually don't like breakfast options in lounges, and this was the same. I didn't care for the breakfast options at all. And even if they just expanded the SFO Centurion Lounge, the problem is they're not serving food in the back area. There's no bartender, there's no food in the back area. I think they wait till later in the day to staff that. So even if there are lots of seats back there, everyone was crowded near the food. So it made it not so fun for me. And yeah, when I was thinking about things to take to go, I took a banana. That was it. So I love how Capital One has that to-go option.
I mean, don't tell anyone, but you can make your own to-go option at the Centurion Lounge.
I've done that too.
Okay. All right.
We are so resourceful.
just
I have
saying,
done that. So with the Centurion lounges, we can't bring in a guest anymore. And if I have family waiting outside, I'll just pack a little stuff for them, bring it out to them. That's how I do it.
I mean, I have zero shame. My parents were the type that would bring food on the plane. Like, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of the Jamaicans, like they're bringing their pot. And they're serving. So, my mind, I think, listen, I'm not going to see most of these people ever. I don't care. I spend my money. And unless there is a rule that says I can't take it, well, maybe even if there is a rule, I'm just going to quickly pack.
Exactly.
Take it to go. So, when we flew north last time, there's there's food option, but you pay for it. I'm like, we went to the Escape Lounge in Fort Lauderdale, packed the Tupperware. We were good for the night. So, I had the opportunity on the way to travel more to visit the Delta Sky Club in Miami. This was my first time actually using the Sky Club. It's right across from the Turkish lounge. There was no line, no waiting. The club is very small. I went there at 5 a.m. in the morning, so I don't think most people are traveling then. The breakfast food at lounges are usually very cafeteria-like. They're very Hyatt Place kind of buffet style. The bagels all wrapped in plastic, the fruits wrapped in plastic. It was definitely not worth the $50 if you had to bring a guest in. If you have a Delta flight and you have the American Express Platinum card, then use that, charge your phone, charge your laptop, grab a couple of snacks and, hang out for the time. There was one, I think it was a key lime yogurt. Now that was great, but definitely not worth $50. And at that time, the bar is not open, so you can't even have champagne or anything like that. So you're literally paying $50 for cafeteria food. Again, if you have the card, definitely worth it. If you have to pay for it, I would not advise for it. They are building a new one and it should be opened in 2024, later in the year. So it's supposed to be double the size. So let's see how that one is.
Where is that one at?
This is in the Miami airport between H and J. Delta is close to the international terminal. So if you're flying international, it's easy to access and it's right across from the Turkish lounge. Now, if you have the priority pass, I would recommend going to the Turkish lounge instead. The food is just as terrible, but at least with your priority pass, it's covered for you and 2 guests. It's a much bigger lounge also, but the food is over there is also not great. Miami needs to step their game up.
At least you have a lounge. I don't have a lounge.
Oh, okay. Well, let me take that back. Keep on Miami. What you doing with your subpar?
Asheville didn't have a lounge.
I mean, it was a cute airport. Yeah, but you're definitely missing the lounge there for sure. I also visited the Delta Sky Club in Atlanta. Every terminal in Atlanta has its own Sky Club. I got in at E and there was a line. And I was like, do I want to join this line? And my gate was at D. So I took the train, went to D. And apparently the Sky Club at this D terminal is the original Sky Club. One of the waitresses was very proud of that fact. I think everyone she talked to, she told them that. This one was also very small. They were serving breakfast, but at least the bar was open. So I got a mimosa or 2 or 3. I don't quite remember. There was nothing special about it. You didn't even have a view of the runway. You couldn't see the planes. But knowing what I know now, I would have stayed at the other gate, waited in line because apparently the one at E is much bigger, much nicer, and then leave with enough time to get on the train to get on my flight. So if you are going to Atlanta, I would skip the lounge at D and maybe check out one of the other newer lounges. I mean, unless you're a bit nostalgic and you want to be at the original lounge, can't imagine anyone would want that. Oh, one more thing. The absolute worst lounge. I mean, this lounge is so bad, Serena, it's like scabies level.
Oh.
Has to be
Chicago.
the priority pass lounge there.
The Swissport or something.
Yeah, the Swiss port.
Oh.
If I have B-roll, Mitch, you can insert it here. I mean, it was just, they didn't even have water. It's like, we don't have
I
any
hate
water.
it when lounges don't have water.
Oh.
That's the worst.
Oh.
All they had were dirty glasses and beef ramen noodles.
Oh.
Skip it at all costs. I advise you to buy the overpriced airport food.
Yeah, that's probably the worst one I've been to.
Yeah, it's terrible. And they're like the lounge for Qatar and a bunch of other airlines. So Mitch, aren't the lounges in the international airports much better than the ones we have here?
Yeah, especially, Nicole, I can agree. Yeah, that sounds like a really bad experience you had in Chicago, right?
Don't go.
Stay home, don't go. Yeah.
Not worth it, right?
No.
Yeah. When it comes to like, the priority pass lounges, I think where you can get like a lot of value out of the priority pass cards that come with most of those credit cards, it's the overseas lounge. In fact, I think some of the better priority pass lounges, in my opinion, they're outside of the United States. A couple of my favorite priority pass lounges, they're in Bangkok. It seems like there's a bunch of priority pass lounges at the BKK airport that offer it. In fact, if you go to the priority pass app and you look it up on your phone, BKK, they got a lounge in almost every terminal at Sumanepu Airport. A couple of the good ones, you're going to like this one, Nicole, is the Turkish lounge one, because we went there a couple of years ago. I think we went pre-COVID, and you get a complimentary 15-minute neck and shoulder massage per adult. We did that a couple of years ago. It was great. And, there's usually a wait for that. So just put your name on the list and then go get something to eat. Another good one that we went to at BKK Airport is the Oman Air First Class and Business Class Lounge. It's a great place where we relaxed. We grabbed some food. It was very clean. And they even had a shower, I think, when we visited there as well, which sometimes you don't find showers with these priority pass lounges as well. So another airport that has some great priority pass options is the Sydney Airport in Australia. One option that we visited, it's the House. Now, this lounge is unique because it was the old Etihad lounge. Oh, wait, are we allowed to say that anymore around here? We can't say the E word.
It's too soon.
It's too soon.
It was the old lounge.
Lounge.
When we visited it back when we were in Australia last summer, it wasn't as great as it was in the Etihad days, but they still had a shower, had a great lounge, good food, especially for flying economy. Now, if you've got the Chase version of the Priority Pass, and I'm sure Serena's going to tell us why that's a little bit different in just a couple of minutes, is they got some very good dining options in Sydney as well. The domestic terminal, Terminal 3 at Sydney Airport, they've got an Asian restaurant and an Italian restaurant. And that's great because the food we were served on Qantas is pure.
Wait, Qantas
Yes.
business class?
Domestic. I thought I've shown this to you guys. Let me show it to you again. This meal that they served us, is this lamb? I think it was lamb. It was some mystery meat. It was horrible. We didn't even eat it. It's disgusting. But we were very happy to have some very hot pasta at the Italian restaurant in the terminal as well. So there's some great options if you got the Chase Priority Pass in the Sydney Airport. Some of the better options are international, not domestic for that Priority Pass.
One of my favorite lounges that's not in the US for Priority Pass is in the airport in Guadalajara in Mexico. They have a Priority Pass there that you could enter landside before security, and then they have their own security there, and then you're airside all of a sudden. So instead of going through the regular security and entering the lounge airside, you could actually enter it, before security, and it's a private security. I mean, that's pretty good for a Priority Pass. So I like that one.
Wow. So you clear security in the lounge to get to your plane.
Yeah.
That is nice.
That is very nice.
So, but it's good to know beforehand because usually that's not the case. So you would think, okay, I got to clear security, then I'll look for the lounge. But in that one, you could actually enter the lounge and go through security there. So
My sister's always raving about the Priority Pass lounge in Jamaica. There's one in Kingston and there's one in Mobay. She says the food there is amazing.
Yeah, some of these lounges have great perks, like the Priority Pass lounge in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic has a pool. So your vacation doesn't end when you leave the resort. It continues at the airport. Just make sure you're wearing your swimsuit or pack it in your carry-on.
So fun fact, somebody told me that they were going to that pool and they wore their swimsuit under their clothes. When they got there, the pool was closed for construction.
Oh, bummer.
So they had to fly home with the uncomfortable suit. They had to fly home with the uncomfortable swimsuit.
Oh dear.
So I would pack some extra clean clothes in case the pool's not open.
And some undies too. Don't forget those.
Yeah, that's for sure. That was an oh dear moment for sure.
So Miguel, would you say that Guadalajara lounge is one of your favorite Priority Pass lounges?
yeah, for Priority Pass, yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it.
So Serena, Nicole, I'm curious, what's your favorite Priority Pass lounge that you've been to?
It was in Rome on our way back from summer. They had a pizza chef that was making freshly made pizza in a brick oven.
What?
Yeah. So they had this green pizza with pesto and celery. They had Nutella pizza. I think it's the best Nutella pizza I ever had. The ambiance was amazing. That was, I think, my favorite Priority Pass lounge. Can't beat fresh pasta and Nutella pizza.
Serena, what's your favorite Priority Pass?
I don't really have a favorite Priority Pass lounge. Maybe it's that one in Punta Cana. I don't know. All the lounges in my head are clouded by all the better business class lounges. When you travel so much, it's just hard to keep track everything, everywhere we've been, all the lounges we've been to. So
But you've got some great tips for us and everyone else on how they can use these lounges, right? And the credit cards that come with the benefits and everything.
So I'm going to run through a list of credit cards that you can use for lounge access. No business class or first class ticket required. That means just by holding these credit cards, you will have access to lounges. Okay, so first is the Capital One Venture X card. This offers Priority Pass access, as we discussed earlier, Plaza Premium Lounge access, and Capital One Lounge access, like Miguel talked about earlier. Currently, there are Capital One lounges in Dallas, DFW, Washington, D.C., Dulles, and more coming soon in Las Vegas, LaGuardia, and Washington National Airport. So what makes this card possibly the best card with lounge access, especially for families, is that you can add 4 authorized users to this card for no fee. And each of those authorized users will get lounge access and can bring in 2 additional guests. That means if you have this one card, you can bring in 14 additional guests into the lounge. There's also a business version of this card as well, the Capital One Venture X business card, and that has the added benefit of Priority Pass with restaurant access. Next is the Capital One Venture card and the Spark Miles business card. This is a regular Venture card, not the Venture X. With this, you'll get 2 visits to the Capital One Lounge per year. With the Amex Platinum cards, the personal and business versions, you'll get Priority Pass, access to the Amex Centurion lounges, Delta Sky Club access with a limit of 10 times per year starting in February of 2025, some Virgin Clubhouse lounges, Plaza Premium lounges, and Escape lounges. And just a note, with Escape lounges, you can bring guests into Escape lounges. That's different from the Centurion lounges, where you cannot bring a guest unless you qualify. With the Chase Sapphire Reserve card, you get access to Sapphire lounges, and Priority Pass includes restaurants. With the Citi American Advantage Executive MasterCard, you get access to the AA Admirals Club and some One World Alliance lounges. With the United Explorer card, you will get 2 single-day passes to the United Club Lounge, which anybody can use, so you can gift them to anybody else. With the United Club Infinite card, you'll get United Club membership. And then with the Delta Sky Miles Reserve Personal and Business Amex cards, you get Delta Sky Club access with limits to 15 visits starting in February 2025, and then access to Amex Centurion lounges. And then lastly, there's the Amex Green card, which gives you a $100 lounge buddy credit. There are some Amex cards with airline credits, and you have to select a designated airline on your profile before you can use your card with certain airlines, and you can use that credit to pay for things like lounge access. For United and American, you can buy a day pass to these lounges and get reimbursed with the Amex credit. And with Delta, you can get guests in with your Amex credit. Keep in mind that with United, American, and Delta lounge access, you must be flying on that particular airline to be allowed into the lounge. So as you can tell, there are lots of card options that you could use for lounge access. Take a look at what your home airport is, the airports that you're usually flying to determine which cards would make sense for your situation. And we have information on all of these cards on our website at letsgettothepoints.com.
Serena, you summarize it so well for us every time. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. Check out our website for more.
And if anyone's got any questions about lounges or access, they can ask us in the comments below. All right, thanks everyone. It's time to move on to our weekly recap. It's now time for our weekly recap. We share our tips and insider lessons with you from stuff that we've recently booked. So we're going to start with Serena. So Miguel and Nicole, they were in Asheville having a great time at the conference. And you were at Secrets Impression in Cancun, right?
I was. So
I think she wins.
Do I? It was very relaxing and I didn't have to be social. So that was kind of nice for me, minus a few itchy bug bites that I got.
Oh, no.
But that's okay. So yes, I just got back from Impression Moxché by Secrets. Now, this property is all inclusive, it's luxurious, and it is adults only. So it was just me and my husband enjoying a long weekend at this resort in Playa del Carmen, which is about 50 minutes away from the Cancun airport. So this property consists of the regular Moxché Resort, and then there's the Impression Moxché building. And I stayed in the Impression building, which is a more elevated experience. So I stayed in the Impression building and I booked pre-devaluation and paid 29,000 points per night. This was peak pricing before the Hyatt devaluation back in March. Now this property costs between 42,000 and 58,000 points per night. So how to pronounce Moxché? You say Moxché. I actually asked around and it's actually the Mayan pronunciation. Do you remember, Miguel, when we tried to ask you like how do you pronounce this? So it is Moxché. But some people do say Moxché, but they want to use the Mayan pronunciation, which is Moxché. And so we say that. So I was celebrating my birthday during this trip and I was upgraded to a master suite ocean view and it was gorgeous. And let me tell you, I think globalist upgrades to this suite are very, very rare. So it was a special treat for me. I did not ask for an upgrade ahead of time. I also did not apply a suite upgrade award. So when we arrived, they asked if we were celebrating something. And I actually turned to my husband and I asked, what are we celebrating? I said that out loud in front of the staff, which is not suave at all. I don't recommend that. But then I said, oh yeah, it's my birthday. So then they upgraded us to this amazing suite, which you'll see here. I loved it. As an Impression guest, here's what you get. You get 2 butlers, access to exclusive pools, including an infinity pool on the rooftop, 3 special restaurants, access to the observatory, which includes a restaurant and a pool and views of the entire property, a 25-minute complimentary massage, special seating in the theater during evening shows, complimentary roast duck, which is a 2-course entree in one of their Japanese restaurants, and a complimentary multi-course dinner in Teodoro if you are staying at Impression for 5 or more nights. And if you are staying fewer nights, you can get this same meal for $250 per couple. So here are some tips if you're visiting, and these are going to be useful tips so you don't have to do any research ahead of time before you go. Meaning if you listen to this and do everything I tell you to do, you'll be way ahead of everybody else. That's what I'm here for. I did all the research for you. You want to book your transfers ahead of time. There are lots of scammers at the Cancun airport. I booked with Kalido Travel, and they are wonderful. And it was $120 round trip. This is actually $20 cheaper than the next best option, which is USA Transfers. Kalido Travel is a private transfer. They were on time, friendly. The SUV was so clean, and it was the cheapest option for us. And I really like them a lot, and I recommend them. Next tip. Don't forget to visit the observatory, which Impression guests get access to. The observatory is a rooftop pool and restaurant. You'll get wonderful views of the property and a really good breakfast and a very nice lounge area. And then the next tip, there is a speakeasy and you can access it with a special code that you get from the staff or your butler. So you go into this pharmacy and you tell them the password, and then there's a secret door that you push open, and behind it is an entrance to a nightclub, which is pretty cool. Then Impression guests also get access to a 25-minute complimentary massage. And you should book this as soon as you get there because the appointments for this massage fill up very fast. So relaxing and better than I thought it would be. So definitely take care of this if you're staying in the Impression building. The 2-course duck entree at Suki, which is their Japanese restaurant, is free for Impression guests, but you must have 4 people. So if you're a couple and you don't have 4 in your party and you're not introverted, try to arrange it with another couple so you can participate in this special entree. There are actually secrets Impression Moxché Facebook groups that you can join, and you can actually meet other people who will be there during the time that you're going, and maybe you can get together with someone else and enjoy this roasted duck meal. They also try to pitch you a timeshare presentation. They will call you. They will offer you discounts. They will slip a note under your door to come and meet them downstairs. Just ignore all of that. It's it's not worth your time. Men should pack long pants and closed-toe shoes. Sneakers are fine. They require men to wear long pants in indoor dining restaurants in the evening. And for outdoor dining, men can wear Bermuda shorts. So if you're dining indoors and you're wearing shorts, they're probably going to send you back to your room to change. So make sure you're packing long pants for the men. Go to dinner as soon as the restaurants are open. That's usually at 6 p.m. And this is to avoid any wait. If you don't make it at that time, it's okay because they have a taco stand outside and they're really good tacos. I actually enjoyed the tacos more than some of the food inside of the restaurants. So for the evening shows, there is a special impression seating area, but it gets full. So I recommend arriving 15 minutes before the show starts. I went to the show called The Quirky Show and it was surprisingly really good and not that long. So, there weren't moments of boredom. For top shelf liquor, if you are specific about your liquor, you need to specify your brands. If you want Don Julio 70, you need to ask for it specifically by name. And I recommend booking the Impression Building instead of the regular Moxché resort because it's just an elevated experience. You get so many more perks and the pools are nicer. If Impression is too many points, then I recommend splitting your stay between Secrets Moxché and Impression Moxché, but do Impression at the end. The regular Moxché side costs 35,000 to 45,000 points per night now. And now for the things you should watch out for at this resort. The beach is not great. This is not a beach where you want to lounge around in. It's small, the water is murky, and there are people selling you things on the beach like massages and trinkets. So this resort is all about the pools. If you need a nice beach, this is not the resort to go to. Instead, check out Secrets Maroma, that's spelled Maroma, and will cost between 25,000 and 35,000 points per night. And better yet, maybe split your time between Secrets Maroma so you have a nice beach and then move on to Secrets Impression. So the service, I will have to say that my butlers were so-so, which is why I should have used the trick I do on cruises. I tip them up front so they remember you and then respond promptly to your requests. So this is my method ahead of any vacation when service really matters to me. When you tip your butler or room steward up front, then you'll get really good service. They will remember you, and when you text them or chat with them, they will respond right away. My butlers didn't respond very promptly, so I was a little disappointed about that. But I think it will be hit or miss whenever you go. So the food, that was another thing that I thought was hit or miss. The food we got on the regular Moxché side was just okay, but the food on the Impression side was really good. So if you care about really good food, stay on the Impression side. And the good thing about being at an all-inclusive is if you don't like something, just order something else. And if you don't like that restaurant, just go to another one. And then another thing, hurricane season. This is something that no one ever talks about when booking resorts in the Caribbean, especially here. What you need to be aware of is hurricane season is a thing in the Atlantic and the Caribbean, and it runs between June and November. And if you book during this time, just know that you could be hit with a hurricane. Hurricanes are normally announced in advance, and you can cancel, but it's a good idea to also get travel insurance if you're planning to travel during this time. And I don't think the travel insurance that comes with your credit card is good enough. I would go with an outside travel insurer. I like to use TravelX when I'm traveling during hurricane season. So these are just a few things to keep in mind that might make or break your vacation here. So definitely check out this place if you're interested in a nice getaway that's adults only and all inclusive, where you don't have to worry about the bill every time you sit down at a restaurant or sit at a bar to get a drink. I thought that was really refreshing, just not having to worry about signing a check everywhere we went. And remember, this is adults only. If you're looking for a family-friendly all-inclusive resort, I went to the Hyatt Ziva Cap Cana in the Dominican Republic in June, and I covered that one on my Instagram page. So that's a good option for families. But Secrets Impression Moxché is a great option for couples.
Serena, how did you get over there?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay, so United flies nonstop from San Francisco to Cancun. It's the only nonstop out of San Francisco. So round trips usually cost around $1,100, especially during a long weekend like what we did during Veterans Day. So what we did is we actually used United Travel Bank for one way to get there. And then we used United points for the other way coming back. And so with United points, it's about 40,000 United points one way, which is kind of pricey, but I've got kids at home. My mom's babysitting. We needed to get back to them. So convenience of a nonstop was really important to us. So I didn't mind spending the points on that.
Was that economy?
Oh, yes, definitely economy. I'm okay with economy. Yes, that was economy.
So, Serena, what was your favorite thing to eat at the resort?
Oh, there are a lot of good things to eat. So, what I like to eat is the seafood because what you want to get is the expensive stuff that you don't want to pay for. The expensive stuff that's included that you wouldn't normally pay for at home. So, it's all seafood. They do fish and shrimp really well. I will say the lobster tail was a little overcooked, but who knows? That just might be a one-off for me, but I say the fish and the shrimp was really good there. The tacos at the taco stand, oh, those are really good.
How are the palomas?
I had a paloma with mezcal, not tequila, and it was really good, very refreshing. I actually drank a lot there, a lot. And that's because I had a whole list of drinks that I wanted to try, and it's so great, all inclusive, right? You don't have to pay for them. So I tried tons of drinks. I started my day with an espresso martini with Bailey's, and I loved ending my day with the chocolate martini. And I think my favorite drink was the chocolate martini, but I tried everything in between too.
So my question for you, Serena, is a lot of people, they kind of complain about the price and points of these all-inclusive properties, especially in Mexico. And I'm curious, do you think it was worth the amount of points that you paid for it? Now, I know you booked this, pre-devaluation, right? But the new stuff now, do you think it's kind of worth it?
So for this resort, I paid 29,000 points per night for this pre-devaluation. Right now, off-peak is 42,000 points per night. Standard availability is 50,000 points per night. And then peak period is 58,000 points per night, which is a lot. I mean, if you think about it, like 58,000 points, that's way more than a category 8 hotel right now at peak pricing. I mean, yeah, you got food and drinks included, but I wouldn't pay 58,000 points per night. So I would be very strategic about the dates that I want to go. Try to look for the standard or off-peak dates. Definitely.
That's more than what is that? A private island, Kalala Island. I think that's 40,000 a night.
Yeah, I know. Especially if you're getting a huge villa at Kalala Island. And it's way more private. If they only have maybe 8 villas there.
I think it's just 4. Yeah, I think it's just 4 rooms.
4? So I think you'll have more private experience. You just have to be okay with the crazy boat ride to get there, I think, from what I heard. Yeah, 58,000 is a lot of points, even for an all-inclusive.
Serena, my favorite tip that you just talked about out of all of that is I love how you tip the butler ahead of time to kind of get that better service. That's something I've kind of done, but I never really thought about it like that. And that's a great tip. I love that.
Yes, it's something that I do on cruises, and I never thought about applying it to land resorts, but you should, because I think it works.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes them want to engage and be ready for you. So I think out of all of that, that's my favorite tip that you gave, because it's a really good tip. I mean, the resort and everything look great, but yeah, that's so smart. That's a great tip. So good job on that. All right. So before we move on, Nicole's wins and losses. Nicole, what do you got for us this week?
All right. First, I want to share my win. It was meeting Miguel in person.
Oh, yay.
That was our win.
That's our win. Okay. All right. One of our favorites here, Eric Pan 94, got hotel points, airline miles, all in the shopping portal. Wow. Wanda Ria got approved for the Amex business check-in. Hassan on holiday, which I also met at TravelCon. She said her win was meeting you in real life.
Oh,
me in real life.
so sweet.
Lisa Bonita got approved for the Southwest business card, so I'm guessing she's on her way to Companion Pass. And New Woods says that she got her money back from the mishap in New Zealand when she forgot to calculate the extra day of travel. She also booked some tickets for Super Bowl weekend using Max Miles discount on Southwest.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Keep sending us your wins and your lessons. We love learning from them. We love hearing from you, and we love sharing them on the podcast and on our YouTube video. So send it in every Monday.
All right, before we wrap up tonight, we've got more questions from you off our website at letsgettothepoints.com. So if you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, look for the questions on your screen as we share our best short, quick responses. Stacy dropped us an Instagram DM and asked, "You guys travel a lot, and I'm curious, have you ever been somewhere you don't think you would like to go back or return to? I'm curious." Miguel?
Jail.
God.
Hold on. No. I'm not done. I'm talking about Amex pop-up jail.
Oh, nice.
No. I don't think there's any place that I wouldn't want to go back to. I like traveling everywhere. So, what about you, Nicole?
Yeah, the same. And I would only pick this country because there's so many other countries I'd like to visit. I don't remember anything special about the Cayman Islands. I love the beaches, but there's beautiful beaches at many other places. How about you, Serena?
So Doha, this is not one that I would make a point to go back to. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had the opportunity to take Q Suite again and lay over in Doha, yes, I will go to Doha. But I'll stay in the airport the whole time this time. I don't know. I just feel like it's like it wants to be Dubai, but it's not. So I don't know. That's the feeling that I get from it. But, never say never. I went to Dubai for my honeymoon and I said I would never go back. It was one and done for me. But now I'm going back with my kids because I think they would really like it. So who knows?
Plus, you get an added bonus when you go to Dubai.
Oh, some Nicole. That's the best bonus. How about you, Mitch?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on Qatar, Serena, but I'd also say Cairo, Egypt. Don't hate me. Don't send me hate mail. We went back in 2009 and I'd always, been fascinated with Cairo and the pyramids, but I was just really let down by how difficult it is getting around and the traffic and, the tour experience. It just wasn't my thing. So, and then we climbed up in the pyramids and it was the most anticlimactic thing I think I've ever done. I was hunkered over and I had my head in someone's climbing all the way up inside the pyramid. Then we get up in there and there's absolutely nothing inside. So, yeah.
Inside where? Where'd you put your head?
I'm sorry. Take that out.
Other people I've heard went and they loved it. So there you go. All right. Daniel sent us an email and he asked, "Hey gang, do you have any recommendations for a great couples location hotel or destination? I'm trying to take my wife for a romantic getaway." Miguel, I know you've got a suggestion for this.
I really like the San Miguel de Allende in Mexico one. It's not a beach resort town or anything like that, but it's I think it's really romantic. It's not somewhere I'd take my kids, but I'd definitely go back with my wife. What about you, Nicole?
I'm going to say take her to Jamaica. Why not? Jamaica is a perfect place for couples. How about you, Serena?
So when I was single and in my 20s, I was in Paris and I thought, oh, this is the best place to bring a lover, to walk along the Seine River in Paris. I have yet to bring my lover there, so I'm still working on that. But I think, I mentioned Secrets Impression Moxché earlier. It's an adults only resort that's really nice. Maybe if you want more of a party scene, there are adults only cruises like Virgin Voyages. That'd be a nice option. How about you, Mitch?
I would say if you're on the West Coast and you're looking kind of something local to do, maybe head down to San Diego, spend a weekend at the Hotel Del. Way back in the day when I lived in San Diego, I did that once and I really enjoyed that property. The history of it was great, the location. Not sure if that's what you're looking for, Daniel, but it's also a part of the Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts as well. If you got that credit on the Platinum and you can get the $100 property credit, breakfast for two, I think that would make a nice little romantic getaway for you guys. Final question comes from Kim and she asks, "It's almost Christmas and do you guys have any plans for traveling? If so, where are you going?" Miguel.
So we're going to Vegas right after Christmas, but we're taking the kids, so it's kind of a different experience this time, but we're trying to take advantage of that frontier status I have now. So we're going to Vegas for a few days. What about you, Nicole?
Well, I'm going to Serena's least favorite place. I'm going to Qatar, but then I'm going to meet her in Dubai so we can talk about Qatar. How about you, Serena?
So I'm going with my family on a 3 continents trip during winter break. We're going to go to Morocco, UAE, Turkey, and also Austria. How about you, Mitch?
You all have got some great plans. It's great. Sadly, I'm not doing anything. I'm staying at home. I'm staying away from that all that hustle and bustle. And I feel like I'm going to be that monkey gif where I'm working on the computer for you guys and you all are going to these great places.
Well, you just got back from Bali. You're still recovering.
That's right. Yeah. Well, you guys have a great time wherever you go. It's going to be great. You guys are going to have a lot of fun. Yeah. So no travel plans for me. All right. Please keep these questions coming. We love answering them here on our show. It is so much fun.
Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get updates when we release a new episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and leave us a comment below.
Also, feel free to subscribe to us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and send us a DM if you have any thoughts or ideas on our show.
And if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, we'd love it if you wrote us a 5-star review for us there.
That's all for now. I want to thank all of our hosts. Serena from Passion for Points.
Bye, everyone.
Miguel from Travel Sergeant.
Later.
Nicole from Nicole's Travel Tips.
See you guys next week.
And I'm Mitch Shannon from Seats.aero. Find out more about us at our website, letsgettothepoints.com, and we'll all see you here next Friday. Thanks for watching and listening.
Let's get to the points.com.